it is Sunday night again. Welcome to another episode of Romero Pictures Heavy Metal Indie Brigade presents the Wagner Wiles with Lance and Sam Wagner, and of course their co-host Tyler Shea Cohn. Great to see everybody this evening. Like I do every episode, you know, I got to do something real quick, and everybody asked me what we use to stream our broadcasts. It is StreamYard, so take a look. And it's going to be a short one this week. Guys, you need anything, just give me a holler.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
What?
Sorry, it's been a very long week.
Okay. Here it's 2022.
Hey, how are you guys?
We missed you.
I missed you guys all the time.
We had a Tyler couldn't make it to the gas station last week where we met Amelia. Our guest.
But are we going to try to see each other next weekend?
If you're coming down.
When you're coming down, we're going to see you.
Okay, 19th to the 23rd.
Okay.
And I'm going to be safe. I'm going to wear a mask. I have the antibodies still, so I should be safe.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that everybody stays safe. So, but I need to see my family.
Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Super
Hey,
excited. Hey, Gunny. We heard Chrysotella, so that means it's time for another awesome show. We got a great show tonight too, so I'm super excited, super stoked. And I guess just the best way to say it is that we visited with Amelia last weekend, and she agreed to do the show, and I've been on cloud nine ever since. And Joe, if you don't mind, could you please bring up the most wonderful demon I've ever met in my life, Amelia Kinkade.
Hey!
She is the best.
Staying possessed, everybody. Staying possessed. The only way to get through lockdown.
That's
The
right.
whole world
Hi,
is
Amelia.
turning the whole house. There's a demon behind every door.
That's right.
And under every bed.
I think we're going to have a small delay.
Is there a little delay?
Is there a delay?
Just a little
It
bit.
looks like there's a small delay.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry.
People are getting fired up that you're
It's
here.
okay. It's okay.
I think it's
Everybody's
good. No,
excited.
everything seems fine to me.
Okay.
You know,
Good.
It's good. It's good to have space. There's David Sheridan.
David
David met you at the Cult Classic.
Oh, great. I didn't know he would be here. How awesome.
Yep.
She is
There's
Goodness, I'm here
Con.
with all these hottie guys.
Oh, and David's voice. David, he sounds like just with a low, super voice. I actually talked to David tonight, and I was trying to figure out how to make my voice lower so I could sound more lower voice. I can't do it.
That's
Sit
I
here and
saw-
sing.
I saw David here in Vegas.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he was running wild.
he gets
Doing
right.
unspeakable things, which is what Vegas is all about. It's what you're
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna have to check in
Is
with
Vegas
David
a
about that.
no-tell, like whatever happens in Vegas kind of place?
Well, sure, but so is Texas, baby.
That's right.
I'm
Pretty
from-
much. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's the no holes barred. Just wave your guns around.
That's right.
Just go
That's
out in the
so cool.
street, and it's lawless.
It doesn't matter where you are, wherever you are, whatever happens there just happens there.
That's
We're
right.
dying to go. I wish we were there with you.
Hey,
Well, I'm
Dan.
going to be in Granbury this coming weekend, and now Tyler, you're going to be somewhere else, huh? You're coming to
weekend I'm
Texas.
Yep, I'm coming to Texas. I'm gonna be in Austin from the 19th to the 23rd. And yes. And I know I almost got to see you last weekend, but there was
Snafu.
But you
COVID
bailed.
and
Snafu.
No.
You bailed on
I
me,
did not.
right?
I did not bail on you. There was some other conflicts that happened, so I was not able to make it in. But I was planning on being there because I was gonna stay. I was gonna stay with Lance and Sam, and I was gonna meet you. And yeah, I feel really bad about that. But
It was a successful event too. The place was packed. It's
outside.
yeah, it was packed outside.
New
Yeah.
Year's Eve is my birthday.
Awesome.
And I'm
Aw.
trying
Nice.
to get them to do something for me in Dallas. Even if it's a little tiny thing where fans can come see me and we can shoot off illegal fireworks and maybe somebody
Sheesh,
will
yeah.
lose a finger or an eye or
That
something.
would be fun.
That's
A
what
night to
Texas is
remember.
like.
Yeah, to remember her birthday.
But, yeah, come back for my birthday.
Absolutely.
That would be cool.
I mean, I can go back to Texas pretty much anytime I need to. I think it would be great to go out there. So where's the event in Dallas?
She's
We
still
don't
trying
know.
to get someone to give her one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get someone to give me one. I don't know what the Texas Theater is doing. Whatever
Got
they're doing something more boring than having me on my birthday. That's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to
But
be traveling.
we'll figure it out. I'm spending a lot of time in Texas because there's no reason to go anywhere else. Texas and Vegas are the only places I can work.
Yeah, Texas is great. I mean, I would love to move back there, and hopefully one of these days I'm going to be able to move back there. And I love the film industry in Texas, and I think that it's I think that there was a little bit of a dip in the film industry there for a little bit, and a lot of people kind of had this exodus, but I think that they're bringing it back in again. They increased the incentives again. So I think that we're going to start to see a lot more projects being done there. And I really hope that we're going to see a lot more union projects be done there as well, because there's a lot of union actors out there in Texas that want to do the work, but they just can't, because they can't unless it's a union gig or a union gig,
Well, since COVID, there's a mass exodus to Texas, and it's really lovely. You don't have to live in Los Angeles. You could fly in, but I mean, so many things now. You'd film an audition.
Yeah.
You're going to film yourself, and maybe you'd fly in, but you don't have to be there. And so many of the streaming shows are filming on location all over the country. You could be anywhere.
It could be. What I noticed. So I live in Colorado, Amelia, and in Colorado, there's nothing. There's really no work. There are small independents and everything, but I'm a 7-hour drive to New Mexico. New Mexico, Netflix bought ABQ Studios, and they just invested $1 billion. $1 billion to expand their studios, because they want to pretty much make Albuquerque their home base. The problem is,
Sign me up. Sign me up.
But here's the thing:
I'm gonna ride a donkey. I'm riding a donkey to Albuquerque. That's where
you
we're gonna go.
You should.
Let's all move.
It's gonna be huge. But here's the thing: I live here in Colorado, 7-hour drive. My friend lives in Albuquerque. He's getting auditions that I am not getting because I'm not local. Because of COVID, they don't want to rely on somebody, because if they call at 10 o'clock at night and say, "Hey, we changed our schedule. We need you on the set tomorrow morning at 7 a.m." That's not going to happen if I'm in Colorado.
Right.
So,
Well, there's no reason to be in Colorado when you can be in Albuquerque. I spent the summer in Silver City, New Mexico, which is where my 81-year-old mother lives. If there were a nuclear war, there would be nothing left on Earth except the cockroaches and my mother. So my mother.
Did you just call your mom a cockroach?
That's pretty much all there is in New Mexico, is big Mexican cucarachas and my mother. So
I think she just meant she's resilient. That's what she meant.
Yes, very resilient.
Yeah, she's.
My mother is Rue McClanahan's little sister.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Now, the only
Fun
thing
fact,
more
fun fact.
outrageous than being Rue McClanahan is being Rue McClanahan's little sister. Because my mother is not one to be one-upped. It's not going to happen.
I want to ask you, like, growing up with her being your aunt, how was that? What was that like?
I think that it was like having an aunt who was Glinda the Good Witch.
That's crazy.
Now, I didn't see her much. I knew that she could arrive in her bubble And I knew that there was a magical world out there that was attainable, because little girls growing up in Ardmore, Oklahoma, especially not in her generation, don't just fly to New York and do Broadway and then become Emmy winning television stars. They don't do that.
Right.
And my aunt did it. And so there was this little hint of hope out there, you know? And I've done the same thing, because I've been living out of a suitcase for the last 19 years. I mean, I've hit 27 countries in 19 years, most of those 27 countries every single year for 19 years.
Wow.
We're going to
And-
touch on that in a little bit, because we're going to go in depth with your travels.
So my nieces have me on their radar. And I think that relationship between you and your crazy auntie is a very powerful one.
Right.
You might not see them much, but they're getting information about possibilities for their future that they might not have gotten from their parents.
Yeah.
You know.
And so it was life changing. She was my North Star. She was the direction that I wanted to go.
And you followed that star.
And I have, you know, to some degree.
Is she the reason you went to school for dance, or did you do that?
No,
because
that was
of your
all
own
me.
passion? That was you?
That was me. That was just my soul trying to blast out.
What? I'm sorry, I don't know about the dance. So you're a dancer, Amelia?
Yeah. I made a movie called Night of the Demons. And
I know that.
okay.
God, I love her.
So, you know, had you seen it, Tyler? Part
I
one,
did.
or
I
three,
did.
in which I starred and choreographed, you would have noticed that the demon
dancing.
female happens to burst out into
gonna
these
pee my
flash
pants.
Don't
dance
pee your pants.
type
You're gonna pee your
dances.
pants, Amelia.
I didn't know that you controlled that. I mean, I remember the dancing.
No, you don't.
Okay, now I'm going to interrupt. So this is Joe Ridgely, the new co-host of the Wagner Wiles. Tyler will be stepping down.
He must have been distracted when he was watching.
No,
it.
he
No,
didn't
I
watch
saw
it.
this dancing scene.
What he's saying is he didn't know you like choreographed
Choreographed it.
in
No,
all that
I
stuff.
saw a dancing scene, and I remember when I watched the dancing scene with this movement, I was like, that would be the hardest thing to act while you're doing these dancing.
You're talking about the party scene when they're dancing?
Yeah.
No, there's a scene where she's by herself dancing.
She's got the big black
And
veil,
it's awesome.
and
All
she's
right.
seducing.
So Joe, go ahead and take over. I'm going to go ahead and lower down.
As I was saying, Joe Ridgely, the new co-host.
Dude.
I think he must have taken a potty break at that point in the
No.
film.
Yeah, I think I did.
Can you see how much he drinks? He's
Were you drinking a lot of beer, and at that exact moment, you had
My bubbly water.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys. I've needed a great laugh. That was awesome.
She goes, I was in a movie called Night of the Demons. That's so awesome, Amelia.
And I danced a little in it, you know, a little.
Oh yeah. That's
Just
awesome.
wiggled around, really, you know.
No, it was.
There was one scene where when you like lean forward and you're on all fours and you lift your head up, like in my mind, I know you're forward facing, but in my mind, for some reason, it registered that you're like on your back and you're able to turn your head this weird way. But that's how good it was at tricking me and what angle you were.
There was some good camera.
Oh, yeah,
there was
it
some
was
good camera
amazing.
tricks in the first. One.
And what were you smoking before you saw it?
We can't tell because it's not legal in Texas.
It's
Yeah,
legal in
yes.
Colorado.
My head does turn 360 degrees. It does.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's just a fun fact. David Sheridan's asking, how long did you have when your fingers were on fire before you could get burned? And this actually popped up as a trivia for me.
Oh, really? Yeah. I've answered that question about maybe 700 or 800 times. So if you Google
David,
that,
zing.
it would probably be the first thing that came up.
I'm off the hook.
There you go. Thanks, David.
Now it's, yeah.
Reintroducing Tyler Shea Cohn as the co-host of the Wagner Wiles. Thank you, David.
Excellent. Excellent.
So being that this was pre-CGI, and everything is practical effects, I took the job for many reasons. One of them was that little bit of a wiggly dance that I got to do. I just wanted to kind of jiggle around there, Tyler. And
Fair enough.
just for a minute, just
I see a rewatch in Tyler's future.
a little jiggle.
I'm going to Google it later. So
And there was this special effects guy that nobody had really ever heard of until he won the Oscar for Ghostbusters, and his name was Steve Johnson.
whoa.
And Steve Johnson was doing the effects. And, all hail Sam Winston and all the other wonderfully talented people in Hollywood. But Steve had quite the reputation. And he pulled off things that were impossible, and honestly impossible. And he pulled off half my face with it every
Right.
morning when he'd peel the prosthetics off.
So that was
he pulled off
a
lot
daily
of it.
thing. That was daily.
Every morning.
Oh man.
Oh, because you filmed all night, and then he would have to pull that off every morning.
Oh, so pretty. So no, what I discovered here is that in Las Vegas, I had a lot of Hispanic fans come through. And they said, did you know that our mothers used to use you and your movie to scare their kids?
Oh,
And I said, so that you use me for child abuse. I got all over the mother. Now, I think I should have at least gotten a Colgate or a Crest or maybe even a Noxema campaign out of it. Because you could use it to say, this is what's going to happen if you don't brush your teeth.
Well, I was going to say, Amelia, your teeth look a lot better right now.
And how about banana boat sunscreen? This is what's going to happen if you don't wear your sunscreen.
Yep. You wear sunglasses, brush your teeth, wear sunscreen.
And because it was
PSA.
practical and not CGI, how long every day did you spend in makeup to get when you had to have your demon face on?
Well, it took 5 to 6 hours to get it on until we did the half burn the body, which took 9 hours to get it on. We shot all night. By morning, I really looked like that, and it was completely method acting that I wanted to kill everybody. And it took an hour and a half to get it off. When I did the snake makeup in Demons 2, I was in makeup for 27 and a half hours. I think that I hold the Hollywood world record, and I always will, because no one does practical effects like that anymore.
27 and a half hours.
Wow.
So could you lay down and sleep while he was doing it?
There was no sleeping. I was glued to a teeter-totter and strapped in a trench. He turned me into a 30-foot cobra, basically.
Oh,
Wow.
Not a cobra. I was a snake.
Snake, yeah. Wow.
And I had 2 contacts in each eye. I had an assortment of fangs that really made my gums bleed. I had an assortment of pineapple-flavored Jell-O tongues that rolled up. I mean, everything was real. And Steve was off camera and had tied my tail to dental floss and was whipping it around. And when you watch it, you're going to go, oh my goodness. I don't look remotely human. And as much as everyone likes Demons 1, I'm incredibly proud of Demons 2. And I actually think the actors in Demons 3 killed it. The Canadian kids killed it. So there are 3
good actors.
Yeah, they're good.
It's a great franchise. It really is.
Was there something when you read for it that you were like, I really want to do this, that embraced it besides the dancing?
Well, I was going to get to be the villain and kill everybody. A. I wasn't going to do any nudity. B.
Linnea had that covered.
I said I'll do it if you let me choreograph it. You let me do anything I want in that dance scene, and I'll do it.
And that got you in the Hall of Fame. They gave you a festival for yourself.
Yeah.
for you.
They
and you make the
did.
Horror Hall
But
of Fame.
guess what was on my statue? A chainsaw, Tyler.
What?
I should send you my
Yeah.
Yeah.
the equivalent of my Oscar. It's a chainsaw.
What the heck?
Yeah.
I know. I'll bet you didn't even get one yet.
I haven't. No.
All right, I'm going to scratch my name out and I'm going to put your name on it. And when you come to Dallas for my birthday party, I'm going to give it to you as a present.
Look at this.
Oh,
Look
I
at
love
this.
that. And we're gonna have a picture together, and we're gonna dance.
She's going to lead, though. She'll have to lead, Tyler.
She'll have to lead.
We're going to
Lead
share a
or lead?
bubbly
Oh,
water.
okay.
That's what I'm drinking.
She's going to choreograph.
She's gonna have more of her holy water.
No, I'm not. I'm going to make him lead. It was more painful for him.
So good.
She's got a wicked sense of humor.
Oh, very wicked.
So I had read, it was one of those fun facts that popped up was, are you still the only female demonic killer? Because at the time, like for many years, you held that record.
It's hard to think if you got to think about it.
Well, you think that Angelina Jolie would be catching up with me by now. Or you think that I don't.
You have to really.
It depends on what you call. I mean, we're at a point now where even X-Men have elements of horror. The Marvel comics have elements of horror. That everything you see on television is either Walking Dead or they're vampires or they're possessed. They have magical powers. So you would think that maybe there's a female monster out there.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm the only one.
We'll go with that. I think that's cool,
Yeah.
right?
Maybe I
Iconic.
always will.
So iconic.
If she wasn't
I feel
now
like-
the only existing, she was definitely the first.
That's our beautiful picture we picked up at the gas station last
I
week.
may
We had
still be. I don't know. I'm the only
Amelia
one.
signed for us.
That's a great picture too.
It really is.
It was hand painted. That's not an original; it's a print, but it was hand painted, and then copies were made.
Nice.
Beautiful. Amelia as the beautiful Angela.
They bribed me to do the
Absolutely.
show.
So-
They bought it, so I thought, I'm shamed into this podcast.
Hey, we do what we got to do.
You do what you got to do. That's right. You take them.
And I kind of want to I kind of want to take something that Amelia just said, and you had mentioned Angelina Jolie, and I know Angelina Jolie does a lot of activism around the world, and I also understand that you are you're very active in animal rights, and you're also very active in some other things as well. Would you mind kind of
Yeah, this is
introducing
the
us to that?
first year in 19 years that I'm not in Africa right now. And
Wow.
that's why I'm in Texas and in Las Vegas. So I spend at least 3 months in Africa every year.
Okay.
And I think that this is really the message that I get across to the fans is that no one's going to hand you your hopes and dreams and destiny on a silver platter.
Right.
If you're wandering around thinking, what am I going to do with my life? You have to think about what do I wish I had done with my life. And I started volunteering at elephant sanctuaries and working with cheetah, great white sharks, keynoting penguin charities. I've seen the mountain gorilla twice. The same
Wow.
group of gorilla come down from the Congo and greet me and show me their babies and bring me their children. 2 mummies with infants in their arms saw me 2 years in a row. And there would be 5 elephants waiting around a tent right now. And they wait around a tent before my plane lands, before I know where I'm going. They know where I'm going before my plane lands. And I don't even know what tent they're going to put me in. They will know. That elephant family is waiting for me this year, and I'm not there. And
No.
next year, I will be there if I have to beat my way across borders and crawl across Africa.
Yeah.
So my charity is called Archangel. I go into schools in rural Africa and we dance as elephants, we draw elephants, we make up plays about poaching and protecting animals to teach the children that working on a safari park is their only financial stability, and it's the only hope of stopping the poaching problem in Africa. And right now there is some evidence that the coronavirus could possibly have come from pangolin. A pangolin is a little tiny anteater who is so defenseless. He doesn't even have teeth. He has cartilage in his tongue that chew up the ants, and poachers pick them up and walk off with them. They make $500,000 on the black market to poach a pangolin, send it to China where they're going to make soup out of it. I did a pangolin campaign in Zimbabwe, in no man's land where nobody ever goes. We couldn't get a crayon across the border. I couldn't get a book to these kids. I couldn't get a cookie across the border. And I took 2 American female divorcees who went with me and kicked ass all over the place. And so the charity is focused on elephants in Zambia. I work in the schools in the Kruger to stop lion poaching. I work at Tiger Canyon to stop tiger poaching. Tigers are one of my biggest passions on planet Earth. Tigers are so close to they're closer to me than my own heartbeat.
No.
That little baby is now the size of a very, very large coffee table.
Hamming it up too. That's awesome.
And I got to name one of those babies.
No.
Yeah, he's huge now. I went last year to see Kumba. So the charity is called Archangel, A-R-K, Angel. Angel means messenger, and Archangel means messenger of great importance. So my career as an animal communicator and as an author is being an ambassador between species. I'm a whisperer with all the wild exotics, as well as show horses, as well as Olympic show horses, the Queen's horses in Buckingham Palace. I work with animals all over the world, so I fight for their point of view.
That's
what do
amazing.
they want? What do they need? What do they feel?
One of the questions
what are they?
A minute ago was, have you ever met an animal that didn't like you? Can't imagine that, but
I have met animals that were very broken by the human race and angry and upset.
Yep.
Given enough time to melt those walls of ice, I'm pretty certain that all creatures respond to love.
Right.
But if they're really broken, it's harder to get through to them.
Yeah, the hardest animal to reach is the human animal.
Oh, we suck.
Because there are walls of lies and deception and hiding and fear, and you don't find that with a gorilla, or you don't find that with a lioness, or even a great white shark, or even a cobra. Yeah. They want to be loved, and they want to live on this earth being in harmony with nature and happy.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. That's amazing. I mean, that's so inspirational. And, I think a lot of us, myself included, and I'm sure Sam and Lance and a lot of our guests, we have a connection with animals, and but there's something to just being able to go outside of your boundaries, going to other countries, working with animals on a much different level. I've got a good friend who works on Jane Goodall's. He's part of her board of directors, and everything that she's done through her life for animals on such a personal level with them, the way that you're talking about, like you named a tiger. And
Tyler, it's not Dr. Mark Backoff, is it?
No, his name is Brad McLean.
Okay.
Bradley McLean, and he's on her board of directors for. Oh, do you know what the name of her her organization?
I visited her chimpanzee sanctuary last time I was in Africa.
Oh, you did?
I did.
So she comes out to see Brad every now and then in Colorado, and she really likes whiskey, which is awesome. But yeah, she's I've read some of her books, and I talked to Brad about this kind of stuff, and again, a lot of people, we can do what we can where we are, but for somebody like you that has traveled the world, and there's no boundary for you to, you're not going to be like, well, I'm not going to go help those animals because they're too far or they're in another country or whatever it is. You're going wherever you need to go. You traveled, you said 27 countries, and yeah, I mean, that is dedication. That's, and not just the cute ones, it's the sharks, and it's every animal, the pangolins and everything. And a lot of people didn't even know what pangolins were until COVID hit, and then they started to show up in the news because everybody said that it was either coming from a bat or a pangolin and everything.
I think the bat was a nonsense diversion, because no one is going to admit to having received $500,000
Right.
for smuggling a penguin out of Africa, the number one most endangered species in the world.
Yeah.
They're the number one most smuggled animal in the black market. So I think they shut that up real quick. It was on the Australian news for a second. And then the next thing you know, they're saying, oh, no, it's bats. Really? Yeah. Really? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It comes out of uncontrollable love. Mm-hmm. It's uncontrollable love. I mean, I flew to Thailand, and my latest book, Whispers from the Wild, has a chapter about the tigers there, mm-hmm. and about the tragedy of finding out that it was extremely corrupt. And I had spent $10,000 of my own money to fly to Thailand and to try to help these monks create this sanctuary called Tiger Island, and also to visit an elephant who had stepped on a landmine. She was standing on 3 feet. But
in Thailand?
I have the luxury of having the kind of freedom to do that. And I have totally different priorities from the rest of the muggles.
Yeah.
I don't have a house and a car and a family I don't have that.
So you travel, freedom. You go where you go where you are needed.
Yeah, I do. I have freedom and I have passion. And now if I do start slowing down and figuring out where do I want to be, and I'm in the same boat that you're in, I'm really saying, okay, if I'm going to have a home base in America, and if it's not going to be Los Angeles, so, Los Angeles has turned into something out of an apocalyptic movie. It's like something out of the Bible. If you don't have the fires, then you have the riots and the traffic and the smoke. It's ridiculous. And if there's no reason to be there, and we can continue to write and work and create, even if it's smaller projects,
absolutely,
then it may be Texas. It could be Albuquerque. I mean, I love that idea.
Yeah, Albuquerque, Atlanta. The thing that needs to change, shifting back from your work with the animals and everything back to the acting industry or the entertainment industry, I think the thing that needs to change is for productions to see value in talent that's not based out of Los Angeles. Because even in Albuquerque, and Netflix is putting $1 billion into these studios and everything, they're still going to cast out of Los Angeles. They're going to do day roles. They're going to do weekly roles, anything like that. Every now and then you might find a diamond in the rough, but why do they continue to have to find talent from the Los Angeles talent pool? Because there's a lot of people. I have a very good friend who's in Germany that she is unbelievably talented. And she's going to have to travel between Germany and Los Angeles during episodic season, pilot season, and everything. And it's just a shame that it's so difficult that she has to go to Los Angeles, instead of being able to go to other markets in this country and still have an opportunity to get into a decent role or in a decent film or anything like that.
But Tyler, so many things are now filmed on your own phone.
Yep.
True.
That
Yeah.
you're going to film your own audition on your phone and send it to them. I mean, you could still go to Los Angeles when you need to and have a base in a saner place, a more livable, more affordable place with nicer people.
But
I'm
be
really
able
loving
to audition from afar, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, or you fly into Burbank,
Yeah.
stay a
I
week
think
when you need
COVID
to.
helped with anything is for the whole world to realize how much can happen not in person. As
Exactly.
unfortunate that there's so many things that have opened more possibilities for people that weren't possible before by something like a Zoom meeting or a streamer we're doing. You don't have to be face to face. Or like you said, you could have your best friend video you doing an audition and send it in, where before they wanted to see you in person. I think this year's opened that out of the box thinking for a lot of things.
Yeah.
I feel that way too. Absolutely.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you, Amelia, how old were you when you
Well,
started?
I'm going to go back and give this.
It's lagging.
When I started what? I'm sorry, you just cut out.
That's okay. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
I was going to say one of my websites is called languageofmiraclesinstitute.com. Languageofmiraclesinstitute.com. My second book was called The Language of Miracles, and it was mentored by an astronaut named Edgar Mitchell, who walked on the moon in Apollo 14. When they said, Ed, we think that Houston, we think there's a problem, they said that to Edgar Mitchell. Ed Mitchell was on the ground, and he got those 3 astronauts down in the lunar module that was supposed to only go from the ship to the moon. Ed Mitchell finished Einstein's unified field theory in his spare time for fun.
Wow.
Wow.
He redesigned the space station for fun.
Wow.
And the last really, really fun thing he did was write a book with me. We wrote a book about quantum processes and energetic exchanges in science and how that now translates to energetic exchanges with all living beings everywhere. And I was the model that he used.
Wow. Amelia, do you also follow Tesla? And not necessarily Tesla, but a lot of the Tesla's work with that energy and so forth?
I have. I certainly have.
I just started looking at that
But
recently.
the other side is it's my name, AmeliaKinkade.com. You can find the charity there. It's called Archangel. If anybody's interested, I'm going to lead a safari this year. So hell or high water, we're going to Africa. And
Awesome.
I usually go every Thanksgiving, and I lead a safari in the only safari park in the world where the elephants walk through the hotel. And it's my family of 5 elephants walk through the lobby of the hotel every November to get to their favorite mango tree. And they're going to be in that hotel waiting for us. So I'm being very optimistic about travel in 2021.
It'll happen.
So
Lance
we
Lance
should be
has been
able to get to Europe and then down to Africa.
Lance has been wanting to go to Africa, but he knows that if he shows up with that beard, that he's probably going to die on the first 1 to 2 days.
The orangutans are going to
Attack
adopt him.
me
Yeah, they're going to.
No,
in a good way.
somebody might fall in love with you though.
Well, yeah, because they're going to
Maybe.
think that his face is an orangutan's butt, and then he's going to get mouth fucked.
I can hear the
orangutan-
words in your mouth, Tyler.
All right,
I can hear what
orangutans
you're
are
saying.
Borneo,
Sorry.
Einstein. They're
That
in
was-
Borneo. Have another
was-
beer.
That was too much.
Gorilla are in Africa.
Get him, Amelia. Get him.
Yeah, get me.
Orangutan. They're in the other hemisphere of the world, my darling.
I'm an American. I'm stupid. I haven't
guess.
been around enough. I am. I'm totally stupid. I am completely ignorant to the rest of the world. And
Pack
going
your
to-
bags,
I'm going
baby.
to the orangutan.
I'm gonna show you-
Amelia's taking you traveling.
Amelia, I'm going to Germany on the 8th. And from I'm going next month, and my life is changing.
Are there
So
orangutans in Germany?
That girl that I mentioned earlier, the one that's in Germany, my life is changing. So yeah, no, there's not orangutans in Germany, but I'm going to travel all over the place.
We got to get you learned up on some of these animals, man.
I know, right?
You're gonna love Germany. I've taught all over Germany in the last 19 years.
Oh, I can't wait to
All
go. And
over Germany. It is
she's been to 28
stunning, and you're
countries.
gonna have
So when I talk to her, I feel like an idiot.
well,
You're not an idiot.
fortunately, you probably don't speak her language very well, so
I
she
do
doesn't
not speak her
really
language.
understand what you're saying.
Well,
which
she
might-
speaks English, but she's Turkish.
That might be in your favor.
Yeah, she's Turkish. She speaks Turkish and German, and then her third language is English. She's helping me out with some German, which is
Wow.
really funny because a lot of the German language is it's I forgot what she called it, but they'll throw in like slang, which is actually English words.
Oh wow.
So like when she does a lot of commercials and stuff, and so in her commercials, I was like, well, you're saying like English words, and she's like, well, there are German words for those, but the way that they speak, they throw in like English words as Anglicism or something like that. I think it was Anglicism.
I can help you count to 20, Tyler.
No,
In
I
German?
don't think it's
I know how to speak.
Anglicism. I think it's ghetto. Whenever they want to be ghetto, they speak American English.
There you go.
That's
That's
how
a dumb
they're trying to be. It's hip, probably.
No, I mean for her, she speaks proper German, and then obviously proper Turkish. But I think she's trying to make it easier on me because I'm a dumb American,
A silly American.
silly
But
American.
the night is young. The night is young.
Yeah.
There's still hope for you.
Yeah.
Amelia's not giving you any slack.
She shouldn't give me any slack because I don't deserve any slack.
You'll get to Europe and you'll
When I'm
have
down on the ground,
like-
Amelia has every right to kick me while I'm down. That is totally fine,
now.
and I will accept it.
Tyler, has it opened up? How did you get a flight to Germany?
I booked it, and we have to go through the paperwork, and I've had COVID, so as far as the antibodies and everything, I feel safe with that. But then as soon as I get there, I'm going to get tested again, and then I quarantine for 5 days. The test result's going to come back after 2, then I quarantine for 5, and then after that. But I mean, everything's going to be in a lockdown anyway, and so it's still going to be. It's not like I'm going to go out there and like go to Elt's Castle or anything like that. It's just going to be a lot of exploring and just relaxing and getting away from, day to day.
My sound has gone wonky, everybody.
That was my
So
mouth.
it sounds like Morse code.
That's how
going
I
on
talk
here?
sometimes.
Can you hear us at all?
Did it catch back up?
We lagging a little bit.
Gosh, I don't know if the problem's on my end.
Hold on 1 second, and I'll drop her down and bring her back up to see if it
Okay.
improves. One
Yeah.
moment.
How's that?
Did that improve anything, Amelia?
It's a little better, but not great.
How do I sound? Do I sound okay?
Yeah, to us.
As long as I sound okay, that's
No,
what matters.
everybody actually
I
sounds
can't hear
okay.
you two at all. I can't hear you at all. It's all clicks.
Ugh.
Vegas is messing with her feed.
Let
Can-
me try one more time to drop you back
no,
down.
have
One
I
moment,
lost
please.
you?
We're here. We're still here.
Okay.
How about that?
What is that thing? What's the clicking? What's going on?
Clicking.
I'm not
I
hearing
don't
it.
hear it. Do you want to close everything and then come back in?
Now it's okay.
Okay.
David,
Good?
come
Or
on.
pop back up. So I'm going to go back to my. Are we
How
good,
can I-
Amelia? I think you should. Okay, you're good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to go back. How young were you when you knew you could communicate with non-humans? And in the best layman way I could say, how does that sound? Or how do you know what you're hearing?
Like, how do you know what an elephant is saying to you when
Yeah,
you're?
I was in my mid-20s and I took a seminar that was the seed of what I now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my teacher was named Beatrice Leidecker. She had gone on a show called The Johnny Carson Show and read Ed McMahon's Cat and made Ed McMahon cry on live television.
Wow.
So I discovered that, and what I've now discovered and what I teach is that everyone can do it. Everyone has within them a mechanism that connects them to the whole so that you're no longer functioning as a separate particle. You can function as a wave. You can function as a unified field so that all living beings and all conscious beings, even beings that have crossed over to heaven, are in a library of information that's accessible by means of meditation and prayer. So I I am what's called clairaudient, which means clear hearing in Latin. If I receive a frequency of information, an emotion, I'm going to see the pictures in my mind, which is what most of my students do. You get little flashes of intuition. Sometimes they're motion. They're little bits as if you're watching a movie and you are the animal. So you're seeing the world through that animal's point of view, being in that animal's body, smelling what they smell, tasting what they taste, feeling what they feel, feeling your physical body as an instrument so that your body can feel another living being's body. It's like being an X-Man.
Right.
And we all have that capacity within us to still our own emotions and our own thoughts and create avenues of lightning where we reach out with love to other living beings and we receive information. I mean, we all are receiving intuitive information all the time. The only problem is that we negate it, we tune it out. I mean, most of the time you'll say, oh, I knew that. I shouldn't have done that. Or I knew I shouldn't have. I knew I should have. I knew I should, but you didn't. Because something in you came in and that I call it the troll under the bridge. And annihilated your authentic response in a split second so that you know what you should be doing. And for some reason, the analytical mind comes in and shames you and throws you off course. So
Right.
I teach people to pay attention to that intuitive information without dismissing it.
Gotcha.
And when I'm in communication with an animal, I'll hear words because the conversation part of my brain is engaged in the part of the brain that also is the creative hemisphere. Now, this is true of all my students. If my students are from South Korea, they're going to hear the animals in Korean. If I'm teaching in Germany, they're going to hear them in German. If I'm teaching in Norway, they're going to hear them in Norwegian. If I'm teaching in Brazil, they're going to hear them in Portuguese. And that's not because the animals speak Korean and German and Norwegian and Portuguese. It's because the people do. So you're taking in the information and you're translating it into the language that you speak. That's what's happening when you're seeing things, you're observing the world around you, and there's an inner pattern of your own thought process describing to you what it is that you think you're perceiving. So there are words, there are emotions, there are pictures, there are sensations, there are memories, there's hopes and dreams and fear and frustration and joy and bliss and beauty, and you're experiencing everything that nature is, because we are supposed to be, that should be our nature. Our nature as human beings should be these very feeling, empathetic creatures. And we've gotten too far away from that.
And I have to tell
And
you. Oh, I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
It's just lagging a
no,
little bit.
jump in.
So when I grew up in a very, very religious household, but when I lived in Hawaii, I was out on the beach by myself, and I was just out there just looking at the ocean. There was nobody else around me, nobody on the beach, anything like that. And about 200 yards out from the shoreline, a humpback whale did a full-on breach, like right in front of me. And that was probably the most spiritual experience I've ever had in my entire life.
Yeah.
Ever. And there was a moment where I was just like, that's what it is. This is what that is. Yeah.
That's what it is. And I was in Hawaii leading my whale safaris when COVID happened.
Oh.
The whales come to the boat. And see what happened in that moment, Tyler. The question is, did you call him or did we call you? He called you. You felt him.
Right.
Now, those moments where you don't know why all of a sudden you decide to stop what you were doing, maybe even cancel something and go out or staring into the ocean, waiting for something you don't even know is about to happen.
Oh,
because he signaled you. And that's what it is. The elephants come to my truck. The lions come to my truck. The leopards show me their babies. The leopards bring their newborn baby cubs to my truck.
So cool.
Because they want someone to love them unconditionally, admire everything about them, not judge anything as being evil because they have the right to defend themselves. Good. I'm glad a black mamba can defend herself. She has every right to be able to do that. I'm glad a silverback gorilla is going to take his crew away after an hour. He has every right to do that. I work with a lot of predators because I have respect for. They need to be able to have their own dignity.
Right.
And that's the one thing that humans have taken from the animals. We enjoy taking their dignity. And I don't enjoy taking their dignity. I've got a chapter in Whispers from the Wild where I'm face to face with a black mamba in her kitchen. She could have killed me if she wanted to. And humans assign beauty. We assign fear. You can decide this creature is beautiful. For everybody out there who has a bearded dragon or a cobra, you know how beautiful they are. And when we're open to being able to see beauty and feel compassion, we have a much more magical life. Things like that happen.
Yeah.
That dolphins came to see me in Los Angeles on my birthday. I was out off the coast of Malibu and a whole pod of dolphins came.
That's so cool.
That's what life is supposed to be. It's supposed to be that electrifying, exhilarating joy. And one of the things you're going to find when you get to Germany, believe it or not, they get it. I've taught in Hamburg, Berlin, Black Forest. 3 times a year for 19 years I went to the Black Forest.
Yeah.
All over northern Frankfurt. You're going to love Germany. It's fabulous. It's so magical.
No, she gets it. Like you would love to meet her.
No, I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
That has been my stronghold, is going to Germany. They're very connected to nature.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There was
absolutely.
a question on here that said, I know you can hear animals, but can they hear and understand you? And I'm sure, yes, they can. How do you know when they're hearing and understanding you?
Because of the way they respond.
Acknowledgement.
If you send a dog a thought, do you want to go for a walk? The dog goes, picks up his leash and comes up to you and drops it at your feet.
Yeah.
Do you think he heard you? I think he did.
I think you did.
I
Yeah.
think he did. They're going to respond in kind. They're going to do things physically to let you know, and they're going to have transformations to let you know. Their behavior changes when they're being heard. Their problems go away when they're being loved. So they're constantly letting you know that they can hear you. That's not the problem. The problem is that we can't hear them.
Right.
I want to take a second and flip, because this is 2020 and so many people are suffering from depression and being lonely and anger, and there's just so much. How are you able, or how can we as people, like everything you say and we do to animals, you're saying we can do to humans, how simply can we pick up on people, and how can we help people who are in those places, or those people understand that there's people that are there for them and love them, and they don't have to be alone? Does that all make sense?
If it's trying to get some comfort and power, it might be as easy as going for a walk. And what you're going to see is that the birds and the squirrels and the animals and the butterflies, they respond to you. They come to you and try to cheer you up.
And
It might be, color, being able to connect to a sunset. I use music as fuel. So I play music all day to help me achieve a certain state of mind for whatever it is I need to do. So everything from the meditation music at night to the morning wake up music to the coffee music to the dancing music to the get ready to write music, and that we have to use what we can to try to keep our minds sovereign, and not to let the media slime us so completely that we allow ourselves to be drowned in all that muck.
Right.
Oh, I respect that 110%. That just, getting into that mindset and the music and just trying to take that toxicity that's out there, because toxicity surrounds us all the time now.
Absolutely.
But it's hard to ignore it, when you're day to day. But after listening to you tonight, like I just feel like quitting my job tomorrow. Honestly. And just, because I just feel like it's like there's so much more out there, and there's so much more connection to have between other humans and animals and all this kind of stuff. And it kind of makes, it's like, you to me seem so free.
Yeah.
And when I look in the mirror, I feel like, wow, like I feel trapped. Like I wish that I could feel that free. And it's like, it's inspiring and it's motivational, and it's just, there's so much to everything that you just said tonight that, I don't know. I'm just really, really inspired by everything that you said. So I appreciate you saying all of that.
You're about to go do it though. I don't know how you're going to be. They're letting you into Germany. They're going to let you fly.
Well, I'm going to be able to fly, and then when I show up there, I got to go through the paperwork and the tests and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to do whatever it takes, because I'm in a position right now in my life to
do that.
Yeah. Well,
it's one small thing, Tyler. That one of my favorite quotes from Mother Teresa is we can do no great things, we can only do small things with great love. If every person did one small thing and stayed focused on what they really, really want to create in this world, what kind of talents and abilities they have that they personally can contribute to make the world a better place, even if it's very small, even if it's a little tiny thing. If everyone did what they can do, and focus on what they care about, we could turn this whole thing around.
Absolutely.
I mean, my freedom is based on sacrifice. And part of that sacrifice, if we're going to stay focused on hope and joy and love and laughter and connection and owning our own power so that we can create positive destinies, the sacrifice is I don't get to play the victim. I don't get to be indignant about politics and scream and yell and go on and whine and give into all this negativity, which achieves nothing. Nothing. The only thing that's positive, you say, here's something wonderful that I want to experience, and I want to be able to give back in some small way. Then you feel great and you help other people feel better.
Yep. You just put everything into a nutshell for me, and I am on. Lance is on cloud 9. I'm on cloud 10.
Whatever.
You just put everything into a nutshell for me, because that is exactly like, I don't want resentment. I don't want negativity. I want to have experiences, and I just want it to kind of continue that positive energy going forward. So, Amelia, thank you, man. You're amazing.
Well, Amelia, I wanted to thank you from my heart for agreeing to be here, and hopefully it really wasn't because we bought your picture. Maybe, but I really truly thank you, and I hope your message reaches a million gazillion people. And I want to give you a moment to again do a shout out to what you have going on, where people can find you. I know we've scrolled it, but just in your own words, how people can find you and what you're working on, those kind of things.
Well, thank you. So this coming weekend, I'm at a bookstore in Granbury, Texas. So people can get on my Facebook, they'll find that. Or you can check my Instagram, and that's this coming weekend. Then we'll see if something happens on my birthday on New Year's Eve. I hope it does. We've got a pop-up in Houston. I'm going through all the autograph signings, so this is for the movies. Pop-up in Houston in January. February might be Charlotte for Mad Monster. I'm hoping they're going to book me. March would be Showboat with Ryan and New Jersey Horrorcon. April is Chicago, Days of the Dead. June is going to be Houston. So I've got these autograph signings where people can meet me in person. The Granbury event is also for my books. I've got 6 books on Amazon. Christmas is around the corner. If you Google my name on Amazon, if you go to Amazon Smile and you order any one of those books, the first one you start with is called Straight from the Horse's Mouth. That is the first one, and that's the bestseller around the world. The next one would be The Language of Miracles. If you've got kids, it would be the Winged one. I illustrated it as well. So you have 62 of my cartoons and 2 of my watercolor paintings. And if you go to Amazon Smile, you click on Archangel, they're going to give me 2 or 3 pennies on every sale toward my charity, but every single penny counts. And the new webinar series I'm about to start, I'm going to have a Christmas special. That's on Language of Miracles Institute, or I'm going to post it on ameliakinkade.com so you'll see it. New webinar series in January. Online schools called the Devotional Program. You get 52 lessons, 365 texts to your phone, and you've got a year worth of content so that you can listen to things that are uplifting and connecting you to the God within you and the God within all the creatures around you, all of creation and all the beautiful creatures. So we're creating a new paradigm of how to live our lives, and it's by choosing what you're going to think about and choosing what you want to feel and choosing to be an agent of positive change in the world so that you can help other people and feel wonderful in the process, and maybe even become an animal communicator. Your animals are going to love that you're listening to them. And now there's no excuse because we have nothing but time. It's a time to be silent and grateful. Learn how to connect to all the divine within the animals, within yourself, and enjoy every single second that we have left here. So there's just so much content, and I'm going to continue to create more. I'm working on a potential TV series with a road show all over Africa, and I'm writing like a mad fiend. So I've got a few things up my sleeve yet. Thanks for
Nice.
having me, everybody.
What was your Instagram address? Is it just your name?
Amelia Kinkade.
Yeah, they go to my name. They'll find everything.
Okay, fantastic.
I want to say that if we do finally get to meet the aliens from outer space, the UFOs land, she's the perfect ambassador for Earth, if you ask me.
Thank you.
right.
Yeah.
I want to be the first one on that ship, baby.
She would be perfect.
She's going to be the V
Yeah.
for the visitors.
I intend
Amelia, thank you so much. You are a good person.
She really
Like
is.
you're so inspirational. I mean, not just to everybody, to me. Like, you're inspirational to me, and I'm sure you're inspirational to everybody. I really enjoyed just listening to you tonight.
Wow, thank you.
You rock 'em,
We have Mr.
Amelia.
Orb. Mr. Orb, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Well, I actually wanted to interrupt earlier when she brought up Apollo 14. Yeah, not many people know that my dad worked for United Technologies and NASA, and my dad actually helped test and design the capsule that saved their lives.
Oh,
Wow.
oh. So,
So-
did your dad know Captain Mitchell?
That I do not know. My dad is getting up there in age, so whenever I ask him about this stuff, he doesn't quite remember, but he has amazing awards and pieces of flags, and it was just very cool to hear that. And I just wanted to jump in and say, hey, my dad was part of that.
That's such a small. That is
so
like,
cool. That is so
Really is.
amazing. Well, it was a team effort, and
Yep.
that's what we're working on now. Everything we're doing now is going to be a team effort.
That's right.
That's right.
Hey, Amelia, I hope I'm saying it right. Park Kenna, he's been commenting a few times. He's a big fan. He's in Ireland, so yeah,
Yeah, he's in Ireland.
yeah, he's a good guy. I'll make sure I didn't want to interrupt because we had a little bit of a lag there, so I didn't want to interrupt. But make sure you saw that.
Oh, that's nice that he was online. He must be up in the wee hours of the morning.
I'm telling
Yes,
you.
he asked in one of the messages, what time will that be in my world?
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, for sure.
If you could stay around for just a minute, Joe's going to drop you down. We're going to say goodbye to everybody, and then we're
Okay.
going to not be live, and we'll come back and say goodnight to you privately.
Great. Thank
Give
you.
us a few minutes.
see you in a few.
Thank
Thanks,
you very
Amelia.
much. Oh, that was so awesome, guys.
Man, great interview.
That was awesome. She's amazing. She is amazing.
Tyler, at this moment's like, I don't care about anything other than right now my bubble is amazing.
Yep.
I love seeing you smile.
No, she's incredible. That this was a great interview. I loved. This is so. Not to get too personal lately, but like my universe has been opening up recently, in many different areas, and I didn't expect that to happen tonight. But listening to Amelia tonight was just more. It was just more of my universe opening up, and it was just more evidence that like it's opening up for a reason and everything. And I was just so super connected with everything that she was saying and with her, and and I feel bad that I didn't see that scene from her movie, but when we got into the other stuff,
Yeah,
You're going to go back and watch it. I know
it's
you
really
will.
it really
I
is a
will.
good scene. It's an amazing scene.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Yeah,
we
and
thank-
especially, I don't want to get like my teeth whitened, and I don't want to have to get braces again. I really don't want this co-host thing.
yeah,
so-
you didn't want to be a co.
I know I almost failed you guys tonight. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
you recovered well. Thank you, Tyler.
Oh,
I
thank you.
kid,
Thank
of
you, Joe,
course,
for
you know
stepping
that.
And oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh no, I just thought it was hysterical, and you played it off very well. Thank you.
Of course.
I'll give you a little clue that Samantha came up with before we came on. There will be a tiny contest based off this show tonight, and a DVD will be up for grabs.
What DVD?
It would be out of Dallas, Texas,
And he picked Dallas
because Amelia was born in Fort Worth.
Oh, midnight.
It's really called Midnight Devils, but Walmart did their thing.
They won't sell
Are
it if
you serious?
Yeah. So we bought 2 copies. This one's not opened.
What?
So we bought 2 copies when it came out. Abel Berry, Michael Berryman's in this. Jen Stone, Billy Blair, Abel Berry. Abel Berry and Jen Stone wrote and directed it. So it's their baby.
That's
All right, guys. We don't want to keep Amelia waiting. If
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
one more
Sorry.
thing.
Sorry.
No worry. Just one more thing. Announce what's going on next Sunday, please.
Oh, yes. Totally forgot. Help Me is a film written, I think, out of Dallas as well. Logan Hamby, directed by Sam I. M. Mason, starring Michael. I'm not even going to try his last name. Michael O. And then Jenny Holtzman. It's a quick. We're going to watch that. That's going to be our last official show of the year. That'll be next weekend, right, Joe? This is this time.
20th.
Is it?
Next Sunday, yes.
This time, okay.
December 20th, 10 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
And
And,
it's going to be the premiere of the short film, and the cast and crew are going to be joining you.
Right, correct. All those people I mentioned.
Nice.
There you
Cannot
go.
wait for that. That's going to be fun.
You'll be here, so make sure you take your laptop with you.
I will.
All right, we love you
Why
guys.
can't I just be in your room while we're doing the show?
Well,
What
it's a
time-
Sunday night.
Ocho Torino. Thank you, Sean. Ocho Torino. I hope I'm saying that right. God, dog.
We'll get it figured out.
I'll have my
Yes.
computer with me.
Okay.
All right, love you guys.
Love you.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And all the comments and everything. Sorry we couldn't get to everybody, but thank you very much. This was a very, very fun show, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Wagner Wiles, Tyler Shea Cone, and Orb Joe.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night, Joe.
Good night.
I'm going to go.